UNLV Skating Rebels picking up a big win Friday night against Utah. Tristan Rand proved to be Mr. Midnight, scoring his second hat trick on the season in the 4-2 win over the Utes.
Our PK's been great. We don't win that game without him for sure.
Special teams proving to be a major factor in the contest. UNLV holding Utah to just 1 for 6 on the power play after the Utes came into the weekend as one of the best on the man advantage.
Bunch of guys willing to get the job done, right? And guys that are committed to the little things, little details, coming underneath pucks getting out on every chance, pucks going 200 feet when he can. Just says a lot about the guys and their attention to detail.
Can Utah bounce back? Will the Rebels complete the sweep? Let's find out. UNLV, Utah, next.
And we're back for night 2 of 2 of Utah Utes against the UNLV Skating Rebels here at City National Arena. Based off last night, a player to watch tonight is going to be Tristan Rand, as last night he scored 3 of UNLV's goals. We're going to really be looking at him tonight and see him keep the energy up. We're going to toss it over to you now, Kayla.
I'm Kayla Fossey. I'm here with Devin Nagra. So can you guys talk about what's been working for you guys against Utah so far?
I think for us, just playing a whole game, getting pucks deep at the right spots, play defense first, and getting on their D really hard.
Can you kind of talk about what your chemistry with your line mates have done to contribute to the success so far this season?
Yeah, I think for me, being a freshman, being put with the captain, Matthias, unreal dude, and he's just so easy to play with, and I think our lines up front are just so good right now, and as a team, we're doing so good right now.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
AJ, Dom, back to you.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Zoe. And to you, the viewer, thank you once again for tuning in to UNLV Skating Rebel Hockey. This time on a Friday night, a bit earlier than last night's puck drop. On the call, as always, myself, Dominic Vlad, joined by a bit of a familiar face, AJ Reed. Welcome to your second color commentary shift this season. Thank you for joining me.
This would technically be my third. I had 2 the last week, but if we want to count the whole weekend of a shift, then I guess this would be my second. But very happy to be here at 8:30, 4 hours earlier than last night's game, but still excited nonetheless.
And last night, AJ was a crazy one. I mean, Midnight Madness, already pretty crazy, but when you unpack with the game itself, as was mentioned in the open, Tristan Rand a hat trick, his second one this season. We spoke with Morgan Feedy, the head coach for Utah pregame, and we asked him just, look, how do you game plan for a player like Tristan Rand? And he said, you don't really game plan for him. You just play your game and essentially hope for the best.
Yeah, and he also mentioned that you can't, this UNLV Skating Rebels team is so deep that you can't game plan around just Tristan Rand. And it really goes to show for the depth that if you try and just stop Tristan Rand, you get in that Bill Belichick situation where you're trying to stop the 2 best receivers and let their third best guy beat you. But that third best guy is still going to beat you.
I love the Patriots reference, AJ. I grew up a Patriots fan. They're struggling this season, but our focus is right here inside of City National Arena. Continuing on about last night, the Utah power play. We talked to Coach Feeney as well about the power play, and he said that he didn't really see much of the UNLV penalty kill, and it wasn't really their penalty kill that stifled his man advantage unit and special teams unit. It was more of their own doing that really shot themselves in the foot and didn't allow them to get as many chances as they've gotten so far this season.
Well, I think you got to give some credit to the UNLV penalty kill, because if Utah wasn't really able to get controlled offensive zone time, that's just good defense from UNLV. But they also, them going 1 for 6 is still impressive, considering that he said they didn't really have any good looks on the power play all night, and they still got a goal. So just goes to show how lethal this Utah power play has been, hitting at 53% now. It was 62% coming into last night, now 53% coming into tonight.
And William Schneider broke through for the Utes last night, touching on Utah and their scoring. William Schneider opened the scoring, and Oliver Crafts got that aforementioned lone power play goal for Utah in that 4-2 loss last night. Garrett Fuller in between the pipes once again for Utah. We'll get to the starters in a moment. But we spoke to Coach Feeney about Fuller being back in net tonight, the San Diego State transfer. And he said that it's really a testament to how good of a player he is, how good of a goaltender he is. Thursday night, he said that there's 3 goaltenders on his team that can come in and steal a game on any given night. Not to throw shade at Joseph Grelich or anybody else on the Utah team, but the amount of faith that this team has in Garrett Fuller and how secure he is, according to Coach Feeney, in his game, really speaks volumes about this guy.
Yeah, and you want to talk about how he transfers from San Diego State. I had the honor of calling one of his games when the first midnight series last year against San Diego State, and for 2 periods, Garrett Fuller stood on his head. He kept SDSU in the game. It was around 5 or 6 goals because the SDSU team, no disrespect, not the most talented team in the ACHA by any means, but the fact that he was able to come in on a much better roster with Utah, he's really added a significant amount of help to this team for sure. And it just goes, like you said, he talked about Grelich, he talked about Joseph, the other goalie, and he said they all can steal a game, and like you mentioned, Fuller, he's in the net tonight as well.
We'll see if Garrett Fuller can keep the lid on things, so to speak, and pull out another great performance in between the pipes just like last night. We're going to take a look at the starters very quickly as they're announced under the cover of darkness here at City National Arena. First, we're going to take a look at UNLV. Tristan Rand, Mr. Midnight. Starting on the left wing, Bradley Gallant, the centerman, Dylan Jensen. On the right wing, Jackson White and Dylan Kuntz, Mr. Team USA, one of 2 Team USA members on UNLV, holding down the blue line. And in between the pipes once again this weekend is Jeremy Foreman, the UNH transfer. Looking over at Utah, Landon Langenbrunner, Michael Erdis, and Ethan Light in the forwards, Matthew Delaney and Jake Lorela on the blue line. And as we mentioned, Garrett Fuller in between the pipes once again. Now we're going to bother you one more time. Go ahead and look on your screen. UNLV honoring the military this week on Military Appreciation Week. A silent auction going on right now. 32auctions.com/Rebel Hockey, or click or scan the QR code on your screen. It takes you directly to the auction page. Bid on game-worn jerseys from your favorite Skate and Rebel player, your kid, whatever you want, and get your hands on a piece of this UNLV hockey history. Jeremy Foreman, the man that's been the main guy in between the pipes for UNLV, announced finally as a starter. We're going to step away for a quick moment for the opening ceremony. Stay with us. Utah and UNLV coming right up.
It is with high honor UNLV Hockey welcomes the Marine Reserve's Honor Guard, a symbol of unity and respect composed of dedicated officers. They skate as government's honor and calling heroes with the utmost honor and dignity. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise and welcome the ice for a special rendition of America the Beautiful, performed by the Emerald Society Pipe and Drum Band. Presented by Christopher Avery Law. Here to perform the Star Spangled Banner. Please welcome Joey Jupiter. draw tonight's puck. First, please welcome Commanding Officer of the Recruiting Station based in Salt Lake City, Major Kyle Hay. For our second puck drop, please give a huge welcome from the Military Order of the Purple Heart, Commander from the Thicker Las Vegas chapter, a two-time Purple Heart recipient, Vincent Harvey. Thank you for your service.
And there you have it, the Military Appreciation Night opening festivities have come to a close. Now all we need to do is drop the puck, AJ. We're going to go through the starting lineups for each team one more time before we get going, starting with UNLV. Tristan Rand, Bradley Gallant, Dylan Jensen, the forwards, Jackson Wyatt, and Dylan Kuntz on the blue line. Jeremy Foreman in between the pipes. Looking at Utah, Landon Lagenbrunner, Michael Erdis, and Ethan Light, the forwards, Matthew Delaney and Jake Lorilla, the deep pairing, and Garrett Fuller in between the pipes for Utah. Utah only losing by a score of 4-2 last night, AJ. Should be another good one tonight.
Yeah, Utah definitely the best team UNLV has played at home so far. Trying to keep that home record undefeated, spotless, if you will, so far. But it's going to be a tough matchup. Utah, number 7 in the nation, top 10 showdown at City National. Very excited for this one.
Very, very excited indeed. Two top 10 teams, as you mentioned, going to battle once again. UNLV is going to be away from home for a little bit after this game, so it's going to be the last you're going to hear from us for some time until December. So sit back, relax, and just take in the hockey that you're about to see. Utah and UNLV getting set to go. Erdis and Gallant dig in at the center line, and we're underway. Delaney can't advance it too far up ice. Jackson Wyatt flips it in. Stopped by the paddle of Fuller. Tristan Rand had the hat trick last night. The first Rebel in on that puck. Bradley Gallant mixing it up as well with Erdis. Already very physical hockey. Not much going for anyone. Foreman plays that for Wyatt. Drops it off for Kuntz. Kuntz still in his own end, under pressure from Ethan Light. Sends it up the left wing, and that puck gets sent in by Hayden Siegel. There's Fuller. Siegel back in on that puck. Takes it for a skate below the goal line. Siegel peels out, shoots one, tipped way up into the high glass. Oliver Band's on the near wall to recover. Sends it down low. Cole Wyatt's there in the opposite corner. Can't pitch it back down low. Tied up by Ethan Noonan. Puck gets sent up to the point, kept by Del Monte, who sends Oliver Kraft to his backside. Kraft's back up and flips it on the backhand to send it. Noonan sends it off the wall, gloved down by Siegel on neutral ice. He gains his own. Here comes Siegel, shooting one off the pad of Fuller. And Siegel's feet up top to Del Monte, hops over his stick. Utah's going to get changed up in the opening 2 minutes. It's been a flurry from UNLV.
Yeah, back and forth, little bungee cord action from both these teams so far. UNLV controlling the offense's own time for sure.
Diaz Del Monte joining the rush. Now here's Quinn up top, shooting one, he scores! Kyle Quinn with a laser of a wrist shot coming off the bench. Looks like it deflected off of a Utes player, but nonetheless, UNLV breaks through early, 1-0.
I believe that is his first point scored this season, too. His
It
first
is.
point, it's a goal against a top 10 opponent. What a feeling that must be for Kyle Quinn.
Kyle Quinn, a veteran of this program, been around for some time, AJ. Wearing a letter this year. He has an A on his chest. Leading in other ways in the locker room, but finally, as you said, finds himself on the score sheet this season. Here's Lorela. Under pressure from Carollo. Defenseman turned forward this week. Shot from the outside gets deflected away. There's Lorela. Wrist shot from the point into the chest and held by Foreman. And we got some sticks coming up. William Schneider and Kyle Quinn doing battle. That's a pair of guys, AJ, that found the back of the net for the first time this season in each respective game going at it.
Yeah, not as surprising to see with both these teams' physicality, but really good to see Kyle Quinn get on the board. He's been a big leadership presence in this locker room, which you need for every team, and to see him get on the board must be a great feeling.
And with Quinn, he's seen basically everything, AJ. He's seen the COVID season, a heartbreaking defeat to the hands of University of Central Oklahoma in the 2022 national tournament, 16-game winning streak that same year. The next year, another heartbreaking loss in the hands of Liberty University as that shot's tipped and kicked away by Foreman. And then last season, a trip to the national championship game where UNLV got shut out by Adrian College 3-0. Came up just short from a national title. One of the remaining players left from the pandemic recruiting class, many of them graduated last year. The likes of Max and Alec Johnson graduating, Michael Batuzov, Grant Smith, a lot of those guys moving on to better things. Del Monte's shot gets tipped to the high glass. There's Devin Nagra, one of the new freshmen coming in to take over where they left off. We spoke to him in the pregame. Nagra, a cornerstone piece of this Rebels defense core. Here's Del Monte with a shot. Gets blocked out in front. Delayed penalty on the Utes. Gets touched up.
Now
UNLV going to the power play.
Now we'll get a chance to see this Utah penalty kill, which has also been deadly in its own right because of number 24, Ethan Light. He leads the team with 3 shorthanded goals, and he also leads the team in points overall, but he wasn't really making his presence known on the score sheet last night. Just be on the lookout for him on this penalty kill if he gets a chance.
It's going to be Matthew Delaney for cross-checking, sitting for 2 minutes. And speaking of lighting up the score sheet and making his presence known, that was Delaney. He takes a penalty. Del Monte gets upended by Senden. Goes face first into the ice, and he's back up. No worse for wear. A bit of a scary incident in the offensive zone to start the power play for UNLV. Here comes Cole Wyatt. Drops it off for Del Monte. Takes a bump at the blue line. Whistle. Plays blown dead for an offsides. And quite the scary sight if you're a Skating Rebels fan or even on the Skating Rebels bench seeing your captain take a spill like that.
Yeah, Del Monte taking 2 heavy hits in that shift, and he's looks like he's no worse for wear.
Del Monte, a big man in his own right, AJ's towers over most people on this team, and tough customer as well. Played in junior hockey and gotten multiple fights, lost a tooth. Even had news articles written about him, and he takes another hard hit from Ethan Light. He's back up, and looks like he's going to be going for a cross-check here, roughing.
Well, now you see why this Utah penalty kill is so dangerous. Really, it seemed like they had it out for Del Monte that shift.
Definitely
came at
did.
him 3 times.
All
And
really hard hits right in front of us even.
got him under his skin a little bit to force the cross-check there, and so now he's going to be heading in for 4-on-4, but that's part of the penalty kill, getting opportunities on offense by forcing a response from the team on the power play to make it even strength.
And it's a rare sight to see frustration boil over for Del Monte. He's a captain of this team for a reason. And to see him get frustrated, I mean, there was a check from behind that did possibly get missed on that shift, so it explains the frustration. But nonetheless, 4-on-4. A shot from the slot gets blocked in front. Jackson Wyatt just loses possession, and that's Michael Utes. And for any Utes fans out there, you may notice a Trent Gephardt jersey, number 19. That's Cole Music, wearing 19 tonight in white for the Utes. About 40 seconds to go in this 4-on-4 period. Jensen misplays the puck up top and leaves it in his own end and gets changed up. That's Nagra in behind Foreman, scanning the ice with about 20 seconds to go in the 4-on-4 time frame. Here's Sean Karaman, rink wide off the kick plate, intended for Mensch, couldn't get there. John Correa leaves that one at center. Under 5 seconds to go on the penalty for Matthew Delaney. Utah's back to full strength, about 40 seconds of power play time coming up for the Utes. Nagra turns the puck over, trying to skate it into the zone. 30 seconds now remaining on the Del Monte penalty. Utah's going to try and get set up here and improve on the power play from last night. That's Delaney fresh out of the box, gains his own, shoots one, shoulder to side by Foreman. Now Utah set up in the zone. Light. Shot there off the post. Looked like it was Matthew Delaney. It was who rang that one off the iron in the waning seconds of the Utes power play. And UNLV escapes that short-handed kill with their lives barely by the skin of their teeth, AJ.
Yeah, the goalie's best friend right there, the iron. Keeping this one at a UNLV 1-goal advantage.
And you can kind of get a sense that Utah's starting to wake up here. Ever since they really started to lay into Del Monte, this Utes team has really come to life. Quicker on pucks. More passes are on the tape, and they're just getting more deadly scoring opportunities as the game goes on. Here's Jules Donovan, cuts to the inside, floats one softly on, gets kicked aside. Up top, shot through traffic, gets deflected aside. And we got a whistle. Penalty. Waiting to see who's going to be going for that one and what the signal is. It's going to be a cross-checking minor on Tyler Sunnigal, so UNLV goes back on the power play. UNLV hasn't gotten a shot on goal for some time, 4-on-4 or on the penalty kill. Shots are tied at 2 apiece. Just over 7 minutes into this one. Not as much offense going as last night. Caleb Strong had a goal, the 4th one of the game, on Thursday, Friday morning. In fact, Jackson Wyatt's one-timer rolls off the heel of his stick, but Caleb Strong recovers a puck in neutral ice. Good hustle from the junior forward.
Back-to-back scoring, or not scoring, but shot chances for Jackson Wyatt that he just whiffed off his stick. He had the last one on the 4-on-4, the very first opportunity there.
Now Stathopoulos looking. Stathopoulos and Jackson Wyatt, teammates in juniors. They find each other on the power play. Here's Heath Mensch now. Mensch looking, down low, Rand shoots one, he scores! Tristan Rand, the hot hand this weekend, this season, in fact, his 4th in 2 games, puts UNLV up 2-zip.
How do you stop this guy? I mean, you talked to the coach before the game. We can't put an emphasis on stopping him, but you might have to. He's beat you 4 times now in the last 2 games. You might have to put some more emphasis on stopping Tristan Rand.
Man, just absolutely, there's just no words for the kind of play that Tristan Rand's having this season. Shades of Max Johnson from a pair of years ago, AJ, just with the scoring, even the physicality to an extent. Rand's been throwing the body a lot more this season. Tristan Rand announces a goal scorer. Utah's going to recoil in their own end. Dalmonte swings it to the near wall for Quinn. Going to park behind Foreman, adjust his shin pad, and start it out. 9 minutes gone in the opening frame. Chopped at by Noonan. Here's Gallant. Recovers a loose puck. Gallant moving on in. Down low. Rand shoots one into the chest of Fuller.
Almost another chance from the other side for Tristan Rand. Putting on an absolute clinic this series.
Tristan Rand smiling with Dylan Ford. He loves to shoot the puck. We've talked about it multiple times this season and in his freshman year last year, and even with some of the players. Really, it's simple with Tristan Rand in practice and game speed. It's skate fast, shoot the puck, and most of the time score. It's a formula that obviously works for him.
You want to talk about lethal shooter from last night. Doesn't miss twice in a row.
He understands it. Tristan Rand understands it. Once again, 4 goals this weekend, 4 goals in a day technically. As the midnight game ended in the early hours of this morning at just about a half hour past 2 a.m. as Foreman holds for another whistle.
Hey, you want to talk about all the momentum that Utah might have had from going after Dalmonte. I'm not sure if that was part of their game plan or not, but the way they went after him that shift kind of seemed like they wanted to get under the captain's skin, and it did give them some offensive momentum, but that's all been negated by the Tristan Rand goal.
Yeah, I was thinking that a bit after that goal was scored. That's something that definitely takes some wind out of your sails a little bit. You get a power play, you're roughing up the captain, and then power play doesn't go the way you want it, and then UNLV just comes back to life and scores. As Kuntz lets the shot go, looks like it went off the side of the net. Schwab sends it up ice just out of the reach of Gibney. Foreman plays the puck, so the icing's waved off. Here's Heath Mensch had the primary assist on Tristan Rand's goal that made the game 2-0. Sethopoulos plays it down low. Kelly can't dance through traffic. We got a delayed penalty coming up.
Took a big whack at that one.
Yeah, it looks like it's Mason Kelly who's going to be going for a slash. As the extra man's on for Utah. Shot through traffic, just skimmed through the blue paint. And we have Dylan Kuntz going head-to-head with Schneider. And looks like things calmed down. UNLV going to be shorthanded once again in this situation. Mason Kelly going to be going for a slash, I believe. And that's exactly what the call is. It's going to be a slash on Mason Kelly. So Utah back on the power play here. And this is a power play, AJ, that you really need to get going, and you really need to score this one.
Yeah, if they don't have a good offensive possession this power play, it's going to be rough sledding for the Utes going forward, just because they mentioned it earlier today in the interview that they didn't get any offensive zone time, but they need it now. They got a full 2 minutes in the zone. They need to capitalize.
And they need to get set up better in the offensive zone. Like we said, head coach Morgan Feeney said that it wasn't really a display of how UNLV's penalty kill was. It was more of Utah shooting themselves in the foot on the man advantage last night and not really getting set up. They're going to look to change that as they shoot and they score. That's Michael Utes, the captain. And as we said, AJ, you got to convert on this power play in 6 seconds in, the first shot, in fact. They scored.
Well, we said they needed to capitalize 6 seconds into the power play. One shot, one score, and now Utah, they're right back in this. Only a 1-goal lead, 2-1. They got one on the board now. Took them a while to get one on the board last night. UNLV kind of let it get away from them before Utah got on the board. So now they're right back in this one.
That's Utes' 9th of the season. Once again, the captain for Utah breaking the ice. for the skating Utes in this one on the power play. Here comes Utah with some newfound life. They tried to get a rush going. It got canceled out. As we have another stoppage of play. And our first media timeout of the night. So quickly going through the scoring summary once again. Kyle Quinn opens the scoring for UNLV. Then you have Tristan Rand, his fourth of the weekend, adding to that lead, making it 2-0. And then Michael Erdis scoring the last goal, drawing his Utes team to within one.
Yeah, Tristan Rand. I mean, I'm sure Tristan Rand's tired of hearing his name get called at this point. The amount we've been saying his name, the amount we've been interviewing him this weekend. It's one of those things. Hey, you want to stop talking about you, quit scoring. But it's hard to ask a hockey player to do.
Yeah, especially a guy like Tristan Rand who loves shooting the puck, obviously loves scoring goals. Word around the team, AJ, is that he needs to work on his celebrations a little bit. He was getting cooked by his teammates to an extent by his lack of skill, quote unquote, celebrating his goals. So we'll see if over the course of the season that improves.
Well, when you're the leading scorer, you can either be really flashy with your celebrations or you do the Barry Sanders, act like you've been there before.
It's a good approach.
You can't really be in between. You can't, either be really flashy and then, act like you've been there. So
he has that mix right now. He kind of keeps it chilled out to an extent with some celebrations, but his second goal last night, he went on one knee and kind of leapt right into the glass, but grazed the glass a little bit. So he has that balance of, all right, well, we're excited, but we have aura, if you will.
Yeah, I got to practice winning. Like Jimmy V from NC State, they practiced taking down the net the very first practice of the season. Maybe you got to work on your celebrations in practice sometime.
I don't think that should ever happen. It's adjacent to celebrating
Practice
in
in the mirror.
The mirror is more acceptable, but celebrating in an actual team practice is kind of crazy. It's like pimping a home run during BP. It just shouldn't happen.
You got the time to workshop things. That's what practice is for, to get better on the simple things.
Fair point. Fair point. We have another stoppage of play. 8:28 left in the first period. Seen some brief spurts of physicality so far this weekend, last night and a little bit tonight, but in years past, these two teams have been pretty gritty, pretty physical with each other, but it seems like it's calmed down with the new guard of both teams coming in.
Yeah, and I would expect that to kind of ramp up as the game goes on. By the third period, if UNLV is still up by a few goals, I'm sure the Utah team's going to get very physical. UNLV always loves to get physical, so we'll see how the game progresses in that regard.
Just got to make sure to stay tuned and find out. Joey Carollo knifes that one through and jumps around Matthew Delaney.
Little hesitation move to an extent.
A little bit of a hezzy. It's Cole Bisson off the wall into the skates of Kruchek. Slater has it go off the blade of his stick. Dalmonte plays it off the kick plate for Carollo, who turns it north and gets going. Carollo gains the red and shoots it off of Matthew Delaney. Tristan Rand in on the forecheck against Lorela. A long flip gets gloved down by Dalmonte, who gets hit again. Here's Rand, can't feed it to the goal mouth for Gallant. Up top, Dalmonte. Down low, Rand shoots one off the shoulder of Fuller. Rand tried to go short side on Garrett Fuller there, but 32 in white stands tall. Shot goes off of Foreman at an awkward angle. Centered out front, picked up by Rand, who leaves it for Gallant. Sends it rink wide. Rand sidesteps a hit on the left wing and loses the puck. Here's Delaney. Cross corner dump. Steered around the wall. Stathopoulos hops on that loose puck. at his own face-off circle. Now to the left wing boards. Here's Mensch. Mensch pulls up, shoots one off the blocker. There's a big hit there by Stathopoulos. Checking Schneider into the bench and knock the backup goaltender Joseph Grelich off of his stool. Something you don't see every day.
Collateral damage, if you will.
Grelich gets a big old hug from the athletic trainer, bumped into her as well. So all smiles on the Utes bench. Icing's waved off. Kuntz recovers behind his own net, and he'll sit there with under 6 to go in the first period of play. Puck gets sent into the zone. Fuller stops it behind his net. Played for Utes. Utes plays it around. Jones gets it up. Now under 5.5 left. Puck out behind the net for the Utes. Fed up top. Delaney mishandles the puck. Evading pressure from Cole. Wyatt pulls up, sends it down low. Utah's still going to work. Langenbrunner parked out front. Goes to battle with Jackson Wyatt in the corner. UNLV comes away with possession. Here's Oliver Band. Band gains the zone. Cole Wyatt looking, feeds one on, sticks away by Fuller. Puck long flipped out of the zone. Arm raised on the linesman. Icing. And that puck's going to come back 200 feet.
Got some bad news for UNLV football fans. The Wyoming Cowboys fell short to Colorado State tonight, 24-10. So it's in Fresno State's hands now for UNLV to try and get back in that Mountain West Championship game for another date with Boise State.
And touching on UNLV football quickly, I mean, the game against Boise State was winnable. Game against Syracuse was winnable, losing in overtime as Nagra's shot gets picked out of the air.
They get those two back, and you're looking at
an undefeated UNLV
undefeated,
team.
Probably around number 15 or so in the
Wouldn't
top
doubt
25.
it, yeah. I mean, Boise State was ranked at the time. I believe Boise State's now in the top 20.
I believe they're number 12.
So UNLV could have been staring a really high AP poll ranking as arms raised on the linesman again, and there's another icing on the Utes. Not necessarily a bad thing, staying on the topic of UNLV football for another quick moment. To look at this season as a season of what-ifs, in a way. With those two games at home, what if Jackson Woodard made that stop on the goal line? What if Jalen Catalan didn't get run over on that 4th down and short? And what if just Hajimalik Williams didn't throw a pick against Boise or just anything really? But the fact that this team's 5-0 on the road is Kraft gets laid out by Del Monte. 7-0 on the road in the last 7 games.
If you want to do the what if, it's always good to, for this program, it's a good thing that they're able to even do what if, because a couple years ago, we're talking about there's a huge fight going on in the corner of the rink over here.
It's Kruchek and Caleb Strong are all over each other, literally, not figuratively. It's was an interesting sight there. Strong was in a full mount and had the back of Kruchek.
Kruchek must be telling him, take me out to dinner first. Buy me dinner first.
So penalty box doors swing open. Each of them get sat down for 2 minutes.
So going back to what we were saying earlier about UNLV football, then the what ifs. The fact that we're playing the what if they won these like really competitive games against good teams, in years past we're playing the what if they were just a good team, or what if they just beat Eastern Washington, who's an FCS school, you know?
I was at that game. I know what you're talking about.
Like, the fact that we're at this point now is so much refreshing for this athletic department.
Or if anyone's followed UNLV football for a while, what if they beat Howard in 2017? Here's Jackson White, shoots one off the blocker of Fuller. 4-on-4, once again, roughing is the call on both of them.
That's what you want to call it.
We'll call it that for lack of a better term. Agree with the officials there. Here's Dylan Kuntz skating it in. Kuntz feeds Rand, has it go off the tape of his stick. Rand making a hard cut to the slot. 4-on-4 period halfway done. A shot from Langenbrunner into the chest of Foreman, and he'll hold for a whistle.
So who do you think this 4-on-4, you know, usually see the faster, more competitive team, it benefits them in the 4-on-4, but who do you think that benefits tonight?
I still think it benefits UNLV just for the sake of how much ice time Tristan Rand gets in these 4-on-4 periods. Not even to be a homer, but the shot from the Utes from the point goes in. And we have a tie hockey game. Looked like it got deflected on its way in. That's Landon Lagenbrunner.
Well, I think I teed you up for the ultimate announcer jinx there.
Yeah. Couldn't have been any worse timing for myself with that call there, but great timing for Utah. 3 timely goals this weekend, 2 of them tonight. Now we have a tie hockey game. And good scoring from the leadership group of the Utes as well. Michael Erdis opening the scoring, the captain, and then Landon Lagenbrunner rocking the A on his chest, tying the game up. Kyle Quinn looked for a huge hit on Gibney at the blue line. A shot through traffic, tipped out in front, couldn't get the stick on it. In front of Foreman, who was sprawled out. That was Brady Schwab, but a big-time collision. Dylan Ford gets sent to the ice, and you can get a sense that Utah is starting to really come to life now in the waning seconds of this 4-on-4 period.
Yeah, always had to keep in mind the physicality would ramp up, and we're definitely seeing that. Getting pucks in front of the net, being physical in front of the net, that's what Utah needs to do, and that's what they're doing.
Both teams back to full strength. This is a rare sight too, AJ, just the fact that Utah's at times out-muscling UNLV. They've laid more of the big hits so far tonight.
100%. Just those 3 hits on Del Monte alone. You know, we saw Kyle Quinn going for a big one and checked up a little bit.
Got sidestepped by Gibney under a minute to go in this first period of play now. Puck sent back into the UNLV zone. Noonan with a stretch pass, tipped into the zone by Langenbrunner, who gets changed up. Now here's Gallant. Gallant's pass finds the tape of Tristan Rand. Here's Brodziak back to Rand. Rand moving on in off the pad of Fuller. Nagra down low for Rand at the goal line. Centering pass, Brodziak finds it. Over to Rand, 20 to go. Up top, Nagra. Nagra through traffic off the back of the cage. Recovered by Lorela. Gallant settles it down. Here's Del Monte at the point, moving on in. Pirouette shoots off the shin pad of Senegal. Gallant back up top for Del Monte in the waning seconds. Del Monte's got a shoot. And no dice.
Lost his mitt.
That's Preston Brodziak out front getting physical. That might have been the best period of hockey that I've seen from Utah, honestly, in a while in this arena.
Most competitive period of hockey we've seen from both teams, I think. This season, 2-2, going in the second period. Usually it's just the 1-0 or maybe a 2-0 UNLV lead, but had a really good chance. Tristan Rand had Gallant in the slot there at the end of that period, but just couldn't find him. And then UNLV scrambling at the end of there, trying to get a good shot on goal and just couldn't manage to find it. But still, really competitive from both teams. Looks like we're in for a good one.
In fact, it does appear that we're in for an amazing game here. 20 minutes down, 40 minutes to go. We're going to step away for a quick break, clean up the ice, and give the guys a rest. We'll be right back after a brief moment. Stay with us. More UNLV in Utah right around the bend.
just moments away from the second period now of night 2. Last night we got to talk to Utah Utes head coach, and he said that they didn't get a bunch of room in the power play to make any goals during them last night. But in this last period, we just had the captain score 1 goal on the power play, finally getting that in. And now the score is 2-2 with the UNLV Skating Rebels and the Utah Utes. Now we're going to head it over to you, Kayla.
I'm Kayla Fossey. I'm here with Kyle Quinn. Can you kind of just talk about what you guys are seeing from Utah tonight compared to last night?
They're definitely coming fast. We knew they're a fast, quick team, small guys. We just got to push back a little. We had a couple bad bounces there, but nothing we can't handle.
And then is there anything in the second period you guys are going to look to do different?
We'll get pucks behind their D, keep them in front of us, forecheck hard, and we're just going to put the puck in the net.
Perfect. Thank you. AJ, Dom, back to you.
Thank you, Zoe. Thank you, Kayla. And thank you all for sticking with us. If you stuck with us for the intermission to catch more UNLV and Utah action. And if you're just joining us, thank you for joining us. On the call tonight is myself, Dominic Dubois, joined by AJ Reed, now through 20. Shots are in favor of UNLV 16-10. Both teams striking on the power play 2-2. Through 20. Utah for this middle period, they just got to keep pressing AJ, and UNLV got to clean it up. Might have been the sloppier back end of a first period that we've seen in a while.
Yeah, clean it up, or, they're starting to get out-muscled a little bit. You mentioned at the very end of that first period, that could be a key, too, Start digging harder for those loose pucks. Start throwing the body a little harder, but.
And that's the identity of this team is physicality over the last 2 years.
You don't want to see your captain get pushed around like that. It really sends a message to the whole team. So they really got to, they got to clean it up, but they also got to stay physical. They can't let Utah just be the physical dominating force out there tonight.
No, definitely not. And it might be with a youth movement, and that's a result of not really having as much physicality. AJ, just freshmen trying to get their footing in college hockey and really kind of get established in the culture of this team. But there are some physical guys on this freshman class. Notably amongst them is Hayden Siegel. He had his fair amount of fights in junior. Throws the body a lot. Spoke to them when he came here, AJ, and he wore it like it was a badge of honor. That's his style, is physical hockey, and the likes of Max Johnson, Alec Johnson have left. Nick Flanders has left as well. All pretty physical guys from the old guard, if you will. And as I said, this new class establishing their own culture. They're trying to gel into the current one. Preston Brodziak with a shot from the outside, held. And there's Hayden Siegel, as we mentioned, mixing it up a little bit there with Cole Music behind the net.
Yeah, you mentioned the culture, but when we talked to Morgan Feeney yesterday, he mentioned that he recruits based on culture. He would pass up guys if he doesn't feel like they'll fit the culture. So I have a feeling that UNLV probably does something similar, and they're just trying to fit into the mold and fill things out for right now.
Still relatively early in the season, but feel like watching this team in the opening 10 games or so of the year, you kind of get a grasp on who's playing a lot this year and who won't be playing a lot. And it's not to say anything about the people who aren't playing as much or getting scratched. This team is a very deep team, as it always has been in the last handful of years. They can slot anyone into the lineup on any given night, and they'll play well and produce. Now UNLV working it in the zone. Dylan Ford up top, shoots one, blocked away by Fuller. Brodziak chops at it, gets it poked off his stick. Carollo gains possession and sends it back deep. Strong tries to center it for Brodziak, couldn't get there. And now here comes Utah the other way. And an icing. And Trevor Kruchek trying to slyly get to the bench there, AJ. Just casual. Have the approach, walk in like you own the place and no one will stop you, but he got pulled back from the bench trying to get changed off that icing.
Needs the high-vis vest and the hard hat. You get it anywhere you want with that disguise.
Maybe there's construction behind the Utah bench. Who knows? Still a relatively new rink City National Arena is, so wouldn't really expect that.
Sure, the skates and the hockey gear on top of that would probably be a giveaway, but
Yeah, that might, yeah. UNLV still in the zone. There's Jackson Wyatt dancing. Loses possession of the puck, though. Now on the near wall, the puck gets sent out. On net for Foreman. Almost another icing call on the Utes. Sethopoulos shakes off John Correa's attempt at a hit. Hits Heath Mensch through center. Mensch shooting from the outside, blocked. Swung up top for Mensch. Mensch flutters it down low. Now back up top. And stoppage of play. It looks like it's offsides. Couldn't really get a look at it from our vantage point there, but 16:50 remaining in the second period. Not much pace so far in the opening few minutes of this middle frame.
yeah, both teams trying to control it a little bit more, not as frantic pace, not as fast, but I expect it to pick up as they, the lines start to settle in for the second period. Just a lot of, feeling it out. Sorry.
UNLV finally sending their troop out. And there's some confusion as to who's supposed to be out there. And Bradley Gallant's not happy about being chased off the ice, and everyone's confused. And it looks like Bradley Gallant is posted for a penalty now. So not entirely sure what that one was about.
They teed him up.
And now it looks like it's going to be 5-on-3. So Justice Sethopoulos was just told to get off the ice. So now there's a lot of math going on. Matias Dalmonte talking to the official. The official is obviously not happy at the scorer's table, and he skates away. So there's no additional penalty posted for UNLV.
There's one thing no one wants to do tonight. It's do some math. So
Waiting to see. So there's 2 penalties posted on the board. And it looks like it's going to be on Heath Mensch and Bradley Gallant. So 5-on-3 for the Utes at a big time opportunity to take a lead. Here's Delaney moving on and shooting one over the shoulder of Foreman, and it rings around the glass.
So did you see what happened? Like, what are the 2 penalties? I'm not
I
following.
didn't quite see it. Maybe they were tied up behind the play, but couldn't see past the Utes bench. Working on getting a monitor for this broadcast. Here's Delaney, shoots one off the glove, rebound loose in front, everyone jamming at it. Skips free up top, and here's Delaney again. Delaney down low, return pass from Utes. Delaney skates it up top, creates a slot. Utes from the dot, touch pass, shot from Eigenbrunner, tipped wide. Oliver Kraft, Utes sent out front, Eigenbrunner with another shot, misses the net wide. Quick chances from the Utes on this power play, just about a minute to go. Here's Delaney shooting one, he scores! Matthew Delaney, deadly on the back end, breaks through on the power play once again for the Utes and gives them their first lead of the weekend. They still got another 57 seconds on the man advantage.
Yeah, Utah is not a team you want to give a 5-on-3 to. I'm not sure what happened. I think Gallant got called for talking with the officials. That's what it seemed like to me, at least. And then you give a team like Utah a chance to, with so much open ice, to work on this 5-on-3 power play. Of course, they're going to capitalize on it. And Matthew Delaney, his 3rd goal of the season so far.
Now here comes Utah trying to get going. Again, 40 seconds and some change, just under 40 seconds now, remaining on the Gallant penalty. Unsportsmanlike conduct is the call on Gallant. Here comes Mason Kelly the other way for UNLV. Trying to get something going, takes it below the goal line, under pressure from a pair of Utes. That's Gibney pressing him against the wall. Kelly comes away with possession. Stathopoulos shorthanded, can't play it down low. 10 seconds to go on the UNLV PK. Now 5. That puck gets sent into the zone. Gibney hops on that one. And Band sends it up ice. Dalmonte's pass intended for Cole Wyatt. Doesn't make it there. UNLV hasn't had a shot on a goal in some time as they're back to full strength. Band chips that one around with speed. Skates through center, gets it in. Cole Wyatt can't win that puck race. Bit of a pile of bodies there and behind the net. And we got a whistle. 14:15 to go, and there's that Utah power play that we've been mentioning all weekend long so far.
Yeah, they've definitely got some way better looks tonight than last night, and the 5-on-3 is going to do that. But right now, UNLV, they look sloppy coming out this second period, not completing passes, not getting shots on goal, not playing themselves, and they're in a unique position so far at home. We haven't seen them trailing at all at home this year, so we'll see how they respond to this adversity.
And this is a team that's been good at home for some time. 2022-23 was arguably their worst season at home, losing multiple games. They lost to Liberty University twice at around this time in 2022. They also lost the University of Alaska Anchorage. Now here's Band centering pass. Siegel shoots, misses the net wide. UNLV also lost 3 games in January, 3 straight at home, in fact, to Minot State twice, and then once to the University of Central Oklahoma. There's no quit in this UNLV team. We'll see what happens. Here's Kelly down low. Siegel up top. Kelly can't get it on net. No joy for the Rebels as Niagara has to glove that puck down. Just out of the reach of Stathopoulos, delayed offsides and an icing call. That was all bad there from the Rebels.
Yeah, it's part of this sloppiness we're seeing in the second period so far. They just need to, they're getting in their own way, and Utah's capitalizing on that, making the mistakes that much greater for UNLV in the end. And, you know, they had a good chance. I think Siegel had a good shot there that didn't go through, but other than that, it's really been a whole lot of nothing for UNLV.
UNLV a defensive zone draw here, and Bradley Gallant gets chased off the ice again, and now Niagara comes back on, and Jackson Wyatt comes off, and Jackson Wyatt gets told to come back on the ice. So there's a lot of confusion with the officiating crew here tonight, and we're back underway. That's Slater. Up top, a shot through traffic, hits Foreman in the chest. Donning a new mask is Jeremy Foreman. And that's going to be another penalty on UNLV. That's going to be Devin Niagara for interference. Oliver Kraft lost his stick in a stick battle with Niagara. And looks like it's going to be another penalty coming up, and it looks like it's going to be on the Utes. So an interesting sequence of events there. That's going to be Trevor Kruchek going for a slash. He slashed Justin Stathopoulos behind the play. The backside official immediately raised his arm, and Devin Niagara going for interference after Oliver Kraft dropped his stick and Niagara whacked it away right in front of the official.
So I'll give you another opportunity here. Who do you think this 4-on-4 favors?
I plead the fifth. I plead the fifth because this game has been pretty wide open all night long. It has hit its lulls, but Utah has looked good in this period. I mean, they took the lead on the power play, 4-on-4 once again. They scored on 4-on-4 already, and here's Ethan Light winning a puck race early on in this 4-on-4 period. Fed out in front, Utes feeds it through the blue paint, and another shot from Light kicked away by Foreman. So a pair of good chances from the Utes, and they want more. Here's Light keeping the zone, shooting one through traffic, blocked out in front. Another shot, shouldered away by Foreman. Didn't look like he saw that one all the way through. That was Ethan Noonan letting one go from the faceoff dot. Here's Bradley Gallant. Brodziak, down low Gallant, up top forward, kicks it to himself, can't get it to his blade clean. On the tape for Light on the backhand. Light drops it off for Langenbrunner, has it chopped off of his stick. Langenbrunner gets bumped off the puck by Brodziak at the blue line, and here's Ford with about a minute to go on the 4-on-4 period. Ford drops it off for Quinn. Return pass Ford on his backhand. Up top, there's Strong. Strong headbands it for Quinn with speed through center. Quinn gains the blue line, dances around his man. Centering pass off the tape of Strong, and now here comes Utah the other way. They stop up at the red line and send it into the zone. Kyle Quinn's going to work on getting changed up. About 35 seconds to go in the 4-on-4 period. Strong, down Monte. Back up top, Strong on his tape on the left wing. Strong dips the shoulder, drives the net. Centering pass, couldn't get it to Heath Mensch. Down Monte's there to recover the loose puck. Now back up top, UNLV still working the zone. About 15 seconds to go in the 4-on-4 period. Here's Mensch. Drops it off for Del Monte at the red line. He'll skate it at his own blue line under pressure from Gibney on the backhand for Mensch. Plays it off the kick plate. Get there. Back to full strength. They're both teams 5-on-5 now. Gibney, the lone Ute in there, gets bumped off the puck by Karaman. Karaman picks up the loose puck, and he gets the rush going with speed. Hits Dylan Jensen. Jensen on the left wing. Jensen shoots one. Misses the net high and wide. Puck rims around the glass and back into neutral ice, corralled by Rand. Here's Bradley Gallant. Gallant with speed, gains his own, drops it off for Kuntz. Shooting one, blocked in front. Utah blocking a lot of shots tonight, and they turn it back up north. 2-on-1 partially. UNLV gets back. Drop pass poked away by Jensen. Gallant in behind the net. Back up top. Shot through traffic, tipped wide of the net, and the puck kicks off the end wall all the way up to the stick of Tristan Rand, who hits Jensen. Jensen gets canceled out of the blue line. Sticks come up, and the arm doesn't come up on the official, just over halfway through the second. Stretch pass about waist level, gets knocked down. Del Monte takes a feed on the tape from Band. Sends it to his D partner Nagra through neutral ice, who flips it cross corner, not cross corner, into the chest of Fuller. And wide open hockey there, but UNLV, a lot of their shots getting blocked, and they're giving up a handful of odd man rushes through neutral ice, but still getting back.
Yeah, we had one of the keys for UNLV coming into the period, cleaned it up, and they have not cleaned it up really at all this second period. And to Utah's credit, they're getting in front of shots. They're putting the body on the line to block these shots, not giving UNLV any clean looks, and that's creating breakaway opportunities on the other side on the rush for Utah. So really good defensive what's the word I'm looking at? Defensive adjustment from Utah. Get in front of shots and create the odd man rushes.
As we hit our media timeout, it seems like, to draw a comparison to a different sport, with the way Utah's been structuring their breakout recently, blocking the shots and then just starting it north, it seems a lot like in basketball. When you force a miss, you grab a rebound, and you're playing out of your defense. As soon as you come down with that board, that was a success story for plenty of NBA teams. That's what the Las Vegas Aces harped on this season in the WNBA. And it's obviously worked. I mean, they've gotten possession through neutral ice, which is something that they struggled with last night. And the fact that they're able to turn that kind of play up with speed, even though UNLV is catching them, it would wear out UNLV at some point.
Yeah, and to continue the basketball analogy, Utah having the lead now, it's easier to play defense when you have the lead and break out after you get a stop. It's offense flows a lot better. You know, you have the lead, you can play harder defense, and then that complements your offense. So really, Utah's got the momentum right now, and they're taking advantage of that.
Utah's bench is nice and active, banging their sticks on the boards, kicking the boards, whatever. Everyone's standing up in white. Directly to our right, an offensive zone draw out to the right of Fuller is won by the Utes. Here they come the other way. Here's Ethan Light on that top line. Drop pass Utes, return pass Light. Tried to feed one to the stick of Langenbrunner out front. Couldn't get there. Kicked away by Foreman. Now here's Utes. Light with a drive. Blocked in front by the stick of Nagra. Here's Cole Wyatt on the half wall. Gets canceled out. Utes comes for support. Loose puck into the skates of Langenbrunner. Here's Cole Wyatt to start it out. Wyatt on the half wall, return pass from Siegel. Nagra dances around traffic, and that was a sprawling Ute who broke that up temporarily. An odd angle shot. Gets plucked off the pad of Fuller. Sent up top for Ford. Ford shoots one through traffic. Tipped in, they score! Devin Nagra, a defenseman for some reason out in front and didn't get back to the point in time, but that shot from Ford finds the stick and the puck finds Twine. We have a tie game.
Yeah, the pregame interview bump, we'll call it. Talked to him in the pregame. And a huge, huge goal for UNLV. They looked lost out there the last 10 or so minutes on offense. Just to get one and have this as an even score is just massive for them.
UNLV now has a brand new hockey game to work with. 0-0 if you will. But now here come the Utes. Dancing through, backhand chance for Slater. Just barely missed the net. Slater dancing through Dylan Ford on the rush with speed. Ford up to Kelly, who turns it over at the blue line. Kruchek sends it in. Kyle Quinn can't get it up ice. Sent right back into the zone. Gibney behind the net. And Gretzky's office feeds it out front. Couldn't keep the puck on his backhand on that chance. Another shot off the end wall. Corralled by Kyle Quinn. Schwab knifes it around. Gibney up top. A shot from the point. Tipped high and wide of the net. Stathopoulos and John Correa come together in front of the Utes bench. Now at the referee's crease. Puck gets sent into the zone. Stathopoulos now looking. Stathopoulos down low. Fed out in front, but picked off. And Utah on their own end. Pair of touch passes sent up by Schwab. Jackson Wyatt behind his own net will survey the ice in direct traffic. Here's Brodziak for Wyatt. It's a strong off his stick and tipped in. And an icing. Okay, that's interesting. Didn't look like maybe Caleb Strong didn't gain the red line on that play, on that redirection when he thought he did. So the play comes back 200 feet, 6:44 remaining in the second period of play. Devin Nagra tying the game up for UNLV. Now here's Caleb Strong. Strong lifts that one, makes it on net, paddled away by Fuller. Utes up top, Ethan Light has a step. Light driving the net. Dylan Kuntz gets back and knifes it off his stick. Good hustle from Dylan Kuntz, the freshman. Here's Light up top. Delaney, Light shooting one, tipped on. Utes loses it in his skates. Kuntz sweeps at it, pokes around. Langenbrunner by Carollo. Now he's under siege from Utes. Carollo off the kick plate for Caleb Strong. He corrals it, hits Carollo up center. Now he has speed and gains the zone. Carollo swings it out wide. Strong shooting one. Tips wide of the net into the high glass. UNLV trying to get set up with under 6 minutes to go. Ethan Light hops on that loose puck on the half wall. Looking, plays it off the glass. Gloved down by Nagra. And offsides is the call. 5:37 to go now. And AJ, this game still very, very tight. UNLV, since that goal, seems like they've kind of woken up a little bit.
Yeah, so correct me if I'm wrong, Dom, but Utah, when they're on offense, they're able to pass the puck a lot easier and create more dangerous opportunities for the offense, get a shot on net or maybe get the puck down to someone in the slot who can try and deflect it. And UNLV is just not having that same success. Besides
synergy. And another big hit on Del Monte. Sonagol finishes his check on the Rebels captain from behind emphatically and kind of rides him all the way into the boards, but immediately called for a penalty.
So finishing my thought, that's why this 3-3 tie is so huge for UNLV, because they haven't really been in sync on offense. And now they have a huge opportunity with the power play to, get things back in sync. So we'll see what happens.
An important pivotal power play that could swing the pendulum either way momentum-wise in this game. Once again, that was Tyler Sonagol for checking from behind. The Utes start out their PK with a clear, killing about 10 seconds off the clock. Jackson Wyatt, Mohawk turns and gains his own. Wyatt by himself, feeds to the right wing. Up top, Wyatt. A shot there from Heath Mensch. That was a one-timer from the top of the circle, shorted away. Now a shot from in tight. That was Rand looking for another one. No joy. Rand engaged in a board battle in the corner. And the puck gets sent out. 1:15 to go. Here's Nagra. For Wyatt on the right wing. Sends it in. Brodziak picks it up. Brodziak centering pass. Loose puck. Del Monte shoots. He scores. And right back into the lead, it's Matias Del Monte, the captain, who's taken a beating tonight, breaking through on the power play.
Yeah, send a message to that Utah bench. Seems like they've been picking on him all game. He drew the penalty. He capitalizes. That's what the captain does. Sends a message. Message received.
Message received for Utah. Once again, Matias Del Monte scoring that one. Number 44 puts UNLV up 4-3 on the power play after drawing the penalty. Now Utah trying to tie the game up once again tonight. And an icing on the Rebels with 4 minutes even to go in the second period.
This says a lot about the resilience of this UNLV hockey team, really, because down 3-2, offense looked really out of sync. You get the tap in from, or the tip in from Nagra, and then you come back on the power play, and now you're back in the lead. Really a huge response from UNLV after a really sloppy start to this period.
And a lot of diverse scoring from UNLV here tonight. I mean, you have the goal from Kyle Quinn, his first of the season. And you have Tristan Rand, his fourth of the weekend. Then you got Matias Del Monte, the captain, scoring as well. And then Devin Nagra, a freshman, breaking through on the score sheet.
Share the sugar.
Sharing the sugar sharing the pill for UNLV, and that's something that great teams do, is scoring by committee. As Niagara's tied up with Utes behind the play. We play on. Dylan Kuntz gains his own. Kuntz now skates it down low. Now from out below the goal line, centering pass broken up by Light. Try to get an extra step on the pair of defensemen for UNLV. That was Dylan Jensen back there with Jackson Wyatt to cover for Kuntz, joining the rush. Jackson Wyatt cuts off that pass, loses the puck, and it gets sent right back in. Here's Langenbrunner rink wide for Light. Light looking, can't feed it to the slot for Utes. Rand touches it on. Here's Bradley Gallant, 1 against 2. Tristan Rand, the trailer. Rand shoots one off the blocker. Under 3 minutes to go now. Knifed on by Kraft. A shot from way outside, sticked away by Foreman and directed to the corner. That was Kruchek with the shot off the rush. Now here's Slater. And another touch pass cut off by Mensch. Dalmonte settles the puck down in his own end. Off the kick plate on the tape for Heath Mensch. From the left wing, swings it out right for Stathopoulos. Stathopoulos tries to shoot one, feeds it to the slot. Corralled by Kelly, turns and burns off the blocker of Fuller. A bit of a screen there. Good effort from Garrett Fuller to square up to that shot and block it away. 2 minutes to go now. Dylan Ford in his own end. Pressure by Kraft. Swings it to the right wing. Plays cut off on the near wall near the benches. Now Hayden Siegel drops it off for Dylan Ford in his own end. Ford, saucer pass off the kick plate for Siegel. Touches it to himself. And now Siegel gains his own. Shoots one, blocked in front. Siegel gives chase to the loose puck in the corner. Can't center it for Band. Band picks it up on the backhand. Goes for a skate with it. Sends it to the half wall. Shot tipped on by Stathopoulos. Sticked away to the high glass. UNLV still getting things going with about under 80 seconds left. Siegel leaves it, and a shot gets directed aside, or a pass, excuse me. And then that pass for Utah goes right between the wickets of Tyler Sunagol for an icing with 61 seconds to go in the second frame.
Much better offensively from UNLV. And you want to talk about 4 separate goal scorers. We mentioned it a little bit ago. And talking to Morgan Feeney, that's exactly what he talked about. There's really, you can't put emphasis on one player because they're all capable of beating you.
And it's in stark contrast of last night, AJ. I mean, you have 2 different goal scorers scoring 4 goals. Tristan Rand the hat trick, and Caleb Strong the 4th goal of the game. And now tonight, as he mentioned, 4 different goal scorers in a 4-3 hockey game.
Law of averages would signal to that being the case tonight.
Outside of the score sheet. So under 40 seconds to go. Tyler Sunagol, or excuse me, William Schneider trying to leave the zone early for the Utes. Here they come, 30 seconds remaining in the period. That gets steered aside by Foreman, knifed on by Wyatt. Up top, Rand, touch pass, Gallant. Gallant over center. Floats it in, Rand's the first man on that puck. 15 seconds to go, Jensen can't touch it through traffic as it roll off the blade of his stick. Wyatt in his own end with 10 seconds to go, and Jackson Wyatt's going to skate behind Jeremy Foreman and direct some traffic, and it looks like he's going to let this period end, which he does, and the horn sounds 40 minutes down. And UNLV takes a 4-3 lead into the locker room for the second intermission.
Much better period from both teams, honestly. Utah came out swinging, had all the momentum on their side, and then a huge response from UNLV, shaping up to be an instant classic finish in the third period.
I haven't had a finish like this in some time, since maybe January. Had a 1-goal game going into the third period. So we're going to take a break and step away while the second intermission gets underway. Stick with us. It's going to be a fun ending to this one. More UNLV and Utah coming right up.
end out this doubleheader game that we had this weekend. And in this last period, the UNLV Rebels are up 4-3. We had 2 goals scored by Captain Matias Dalmonte and Bradley Gallant. Now we're going to take it over with Kayla and interviewing Cole Wyatt.
This is Kayla Fossey. I'm here with Cole Wyatt. So can you guys just talk about what performance you've seen from Utah, from you guys?
Yeah, we always see a quick, fast Utah team. They always like to get pucks moving quick, so we just got to keep a good job keeping them in front of us and making sure we tie up sticks.
You guys took the lead this period with Dow's goal that you assisted on. Can you kind of talk about that goal?
Yeah, we just got to stay out of the box. I think we were dominating them 5-on-5, but yeah, it was a good finish there by Dow's. It's nice to capitalize on the power play, and we just look to continue moving on to the third period playing like that.
Tonight's your 100th game. Can you kind of talk about what it's been like to be a Rebel?
Yeah, it's been awesome. A lot of people might say it goes by quick, but it's been a long 4 years, I think, but not done yet. Still have quite a big season still ahead of us, so it's been great.
Perfect, thank you.
Thank you.
AJ, Dom, back to you.
Thank you, Kayla. Thank you, Zoe, and to the viewer who stuck around with us. Thank you for sticking with us. If you're just now joining us for this third period, thanks for joining us on the call as myself, Dominic Lavoie. I'm joined by AJ Reed through 40 minutes. What a game we've had, AJ, tonight. UNLV leads 4-3, 4 different scores. Shots 28-21. Special teams have been the name of the game tonight. Some keys. Utah has been physical all night. Keep being physical within reason. And for UNLV, you got to stay out of the box and stop giving this now dialed-in Utah power play chances.
Yeah, got to stay out of the box. They had almost two 5-on-3 opportunities in that last period, and you just can't have that happen if you're UNLV. And for Utah, the physicality's been working. When they're physical, then they've been going at Matias a few times, a few of the other players, and they're physical. It's sending a message to UNLV, whether UNLV likes it or not, that they're going to play physical, they're going to play hard, and that's turned into points for Utah.
We're back underway here in the third period. 4-3 hockey game, UNLV leads. Both teams have led once each this game. As Jeremy Foreman holds that puck for a whistle. Been a very back and forth game tonight. Utah looking really good. Better late than never this weekend.
I'm talking about it's 10:20 p.m. and at this time last night we were just getting to the rink to get started.
Very late night last night. The game once again ended at about 2:30 a.m. local. So for those in the northeastern most parts of Canada, as there's stoppage of play, it's about 6:30 a.m. their time. So it was a wild ending. UNLV picking up the win 4-2. A similar night tonight, except much more spread apart goal scoring.
Yeah, 4 different scores is really impressive for UNLV, and it's something that Utah touched on. We've mentioned it 3 or 4 times now, but we'll see if they can add to that total.
UNLV with an offensive zone draw to possibly set up that kind of chance. They win it. Rand shoots one, blocked in front. Gallant backhand chance. He whistles it over the net. Bradley Gallant nearly breaking through and giving UNLV an insurance marker. Tristan Rand tips that puck. Can't baseball swing it out of the air. Langenbrunner sends it rink wide, and Ethan Light gets stood up by Nagra. It's Foreman plays the puck to Dalmonte, the captain. Officially a minute gone now in this third frame. Bradley Gallant, saucer pass on the tape for Tristan Rand on the left wing. Rand with speed, dips the shoulder, drives the net, shoots one off the side of the cage. Rand up top, just out of the reach of Kyle Quinn. But puck is corralled by Oliver Band, who leaves it for Tristan Rand, his line mate. He's going to start things out from below the goal line. These pucks knifed on, but doesn't get taken out of the zone. Kruchek plays to the right side. Shot misses the net. Another shot misses the net once again. Now played around the goal. Utah kind of playing keep away at this point. Directing the puck to the open ice, and we got a delayed penalty. Kneeing is going to be the call. And there is a Ute player favoring his knee. That is Oliver Kraft. So UNLV goes shorthanded. Oliver Band goes for kneeing, and as we mentioned at the top of the period, stay out of the box. Don't give this Utah power play any chances to get themselves back in this game and tie it up. Here's a chance for the Utes to do just that. There's Gibney down low, below the goal line. Sends it up top to the point. Now shot through traffic, blocked in front, loose puck found by Foreman. Who holds for a whistle. Dylan Kuntz was in there to play cleanup for any spare white jerseys around him.
Yeah, Oliver Band in the box, and it was Oliver Kraft, the injured Ute. So Oliver on Oliver crime there. we do hope Kraft is okay.
He's being checked out by the athletic staff right now, stretching the knee out a little bit. It's his right knee standing up again. His skate's getting checked out as well as UNLV clears the zone. He's still trying to stretch out his knee and shake it off.
Could be a hip stretch too, depending on what he's doing, but
centering feed for Gibney. He can't get a shot on goal. The official has to jump over the play. Dylan Ford settles it down in the slot and sends it down 200 feet. Bouncing puck to the paddle of Fuller. And here's Matthew Delaney again. Pulls up at his own blue line. Sends it rink wide. Bouncing puck can't be settled down, but knifed through. Here come the Utes. Shot through traffic. Misses the net high. 40 seconds to go on the power play. A shot from Kuchek blocked in front. John Correa sends it back in. Up top, Lorla. Shot from way outside by Correa. Gets directed to the high glass again. About 20 seconds to go on the Utah power play. Looking good, getting set up in the zone. John Correa on the half wall, moves on in, shooting one. Doesn't make it on net. Sent around the wall by Dylan Ford. And out of the zone, under 10 seconds to go on the power play. And the final seconds tick off. UNLV escapes the penalty without giving up a goal. But Utah has the momentum here so far in this third period. Here's Preston Brodziak looking to try and break it. Brodziak driving the net, feeds one to the slot, onto the stick of Caleb Strong, but he gets taken out. A good try from Caleb Strong, and what a feed from Preston Brodziak, one-handed on the backhand.
What a feed and what a chance. Just couldn't get two hands on the stick, it looked like, to get a clean shot on the goal. Ended up running right into the goalie. Giving Fuller a nice hug. First time in net.
Back up, no worse for wear from the hug. Neutral zone draws one. By Utah, and they ice the puck with 15:41 to go. Shots are just about even at this moment. 29-25 in favor of the Rebels.
It's not something we see too often at home for UNLV. Usually they're almost double, sometimes triple the shot totals of their opponent. Utah keeping it close in that regard.
Fuller, an early save on that possession from Dylan Kuntz as he sends Schneider to the ice, and another icing, and Mason Kelly is helping out the official of who tried to get off the ice and who stayed and where the face-off's going to be.
You know, a little help never hurt anybody.
Maybe Kelly has a future in being a referee.
Like a Chris Paul, maybe. You know, Chris Paul knows the rule book. Always
Very
pointed out
well.
to the officials.
Chris Paul knows it very well. Face-off tied up. Utah comes away with possession. Foreman settles that puck on his goal crease, and there's Karaman starting it out. Rink-wide feed, Brodziak on the right wing. Here he comes, dips the shoulder. Brodziak shoots one. Pad save, and Brodziak goes sliding into the corner. Now UNLV trying to start it out. Carollo tries to tip it through traffic. Sends it softly into the zone. Brodziak stops a clearing attempt, but gets his stick canceled out by Utes. Utes rink wide for Light. That puck floats on for Foreman, who holds for a whistle with 14:35 to go.
Coming back to the referee discussion, something I just thought about. Have we ever seen in like a professional sport a former professional in that field then go and switch to becoming a ref?
No, actually. I have not. Nothing really comes to mind. That might be something we have to Google after the game's over.
Send our interns to search it up.
Our broadcast director, Jack Bridges, bringing up Richard Jefferson, a shot from distance for Utah. Doesn't look like it makes it completely on net. UNLV comes the other way, trying to chase after that loose puck. That's Mason Kelly. Delaney overskated that puck. Kelly pressured him. It gets whacked from the blue line. Arm raised on the official. And Jeremy Foreman for an icing. No one tries to get changed up, so no extracurriculars.
I was not aware Richard Jefferson was in fact a referee.
During the 2022 NBA Summer League between the Knicks and Trailblazers. So thank you for that tender nugget, Jack. We appreciate it.
But does it count if it's just a summer league game?
It was Summer League. It's a game. Still became a ref. We're going to count it. That was an odd shot from Nagra sailing over the net. Mason Kelly making it a point of emphasis to be a net front nuisance as that puck skips into the equipment of Fuller, and he'll hold for a whistle.
Kind of a slow start to this third period. Not a lot of chances for either team. We had the power play that Utah had earlier, and they had some good looks, but overall it wasn't like as dangerous as they've had in the past. UNLV, on the other hand, they've also had some good looks, but nothing really consistent in this third period yet.
It's another look from Wyatt. His shot's patted away. UNLV starting to throw the body a little bit more and commit to hits rather than playing the puck. Jackson Wyatt thought about skating that one, but retreats behind the cage for safety. 13 and a half to go now. Here's Siegel, dances outside, pulls up at the dot. Hayden Siegel looks, spins it down low. Cole Wyatt gives chase. Around the horn, there's Quinn, who knifes at it. Quinn loses sight of the puck. It gets flipped off the glass. Quinn stops it unintentionally, and now here comes Gibney the other way with John Correa for support. Gibney dekes to the slot, gets it poked off of his stick by Ford, and Correa just softly sends it into the corner. Oliver Band recovers, plays it down low, turns the puck over. Now loose puck picked up by Correa. Correa tries to feed it to the slot. No such thing. Noonan whacks it back down low on net. And Foreman finds it and puts the trapper over it to freeze play.
Looking at some around the ACHA news, I've got some scores for you. WCHL team Oklahoma Sooners were defeated by Drury tonight, 3-2.
It's a big one for the division for both of these teams, both Utah and UNLV, sharing the WCHL with Oklahoma. Oklahoma's taken steps. We talked about it on the broadcast so far this year. They were leading the WCHL couple of weeks ago. We have another stoppage of play for it appears to be an icing with 12:43 to go. And as you mentioned, it was a bit of a sluggish start to begin this third period in the opening 7 minutes and some change. But UNLV has had their chances to extend this lead. Utah had their chances to tie the game up as well. Remarkable power play effort. No such success to tie the game for the second time tonight. Here's Dylan Jensen with speed on the right wing. Dips the shoulder, drives outside, gets it knifed off of his stick by Delaney. Bradley Gallant can't feed it to the slot. Here's Jensen, feeds a backhand on and tight, can't get there. Puck takes an awkward bounce off of a stanchion, kicks to the stick of Jules Donovan, who cuts outside and gets stood up and sat down by Matias Del Monte at the blue line. And now here comes Tristan Rand through the neutral zone with speed. Rand pulls up, gets it knifed away from a back-checking Ethan Light, who sends Preston Brodziak into Garrett Fuller. A few white jerseys come over to tell Brodziak they weren't happy about that, but they need to talk to Ethan Light there as well, who ran into the LIU transfer.
Yeah, going back to that Del Monte hit, I'm sure he's been saving that one since the first period. Been getting pushed around a lot this game to return the favor, if you will, and then, of course, get pushed into the goal, try and cause some altercations with some of the Utah players there, but not having it.
Preston Brodziak not keen on really engaging with other players. He mostly just smiles, but when it comes to the official and the linesman, he's pretty vocal with them. Carollo tries to knife at it. Brodziak picks it out of the open ice and sends it in. Now Light flips the puck into the zone. Dylan Kuntz is back to recover. And here comes UNLV the other way. Joey Carollo on the tape, sends it off the boards and in the zone as he gets canceled out. Puck sent in. Joey Carollo gets run over at the blue line by Carson Senden.
So about halfway through this period now the people for Utah, if you need someone to come through, you need a goal. I think it has to come from number 24, Ethan Light. He's their leading point getter and their leading goal scorer. He hasn't gotten one on the board yet, and for UNLV, I think Tristan Rand is someone to look at to put this one 2 goals ahead if he gets the opportunity. He's the leading scorer for UNLV, so just some numbers to keep an eye on.
Can page either of those players. Big name players make big name plays as a shot from the point from Dylan Ford. Hops over the crossbar. Ford with another chance at it. Whacks it down for Sofopoulos. Has a hop over his stick. Sofopoulos digging at it with Kelly. Kelly just goes for a skate with it. Spins it back down low. Covered by Noonan. Oliver Kraft catches an edge and lets the puck go past him, and then he knocks Kelly to the ice. Kelly back up, gets it knifed off of his stick by Senden. Now Heath Mensch looking. Mensch spins it down low. Sofopoulos in the opposite corner gets on that puck. Centering pass from Mensch, has it hop off of the backhand of his stick. Utah catching a few edges there. Not the cleanest breakouts in the world from the Utes with an even 10 to go in the third.
Still haven't broken it out, honestly.
Senden to Kraft. Kraft to Band. They finally get it to neutral ice, but can't get it past the red line clean. Here's Oliver Band. Gains his own on the left wing. Shoots one. Misses the net high and wide. There's Cole White on the opposite wall. Plays it back down low. Band softly off the kick plate for Del Monte. Del Monte shooting one. Tips wide. Del Monte currently has the go-ahead goal for the Rebels. Scored it on the power play in the second period. Talking about dialing up a player that you need to make a big-time play. The captain came through in a big way in that middle frame.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, been getting tossed around all night. We've been saying it all night. come through in that way. It's an icing gets called, but to come through in that way for UNLV is really huge. Expect that from the leader. Expect that from the captain.
And it's been a game really of leadership. I mean, Matias Dalmonte with a goal, Kyle Quinn with a goal, Dalmonte the captain. Kyle Quinn rocking an A. Michael Utes has a goal tonight as well. Landon Langenbrenner with a goal. Langenbrenner wearing an A. Utes wearing the C.
That's really what you expect from these top 10 matchups, is leadership to come into play.
You can maybe see a big goal from down the lineup with UNLV. There's a lot of guys that haven't gotten so much ice time. I mean, Kyle Quinn was one of them. He's gotten a lot of ice time, but didn't show up on the score sheet until tonight, as another icing on the Rebels gets blown dead. Mason Kelly's another one that jumps out. Kelly hasn't played much this season, been marred with injury. This is his 4th game of the year. Heath Mensch, this is his 4th game as well, marred with injury himself. Both of them on the same line. Face off one, a shot from Light whistles just past the net. And the puck flutters out of the zone, and Fuller came out to play that puck, and they still blew it dead for an icing, and they're just going to bring that face-off to the neutral zone, and that's been a problem really all night, AJ. The icing calls have been quite interesting.
Yeah, trying to make it a ref show, perhaps. The Zebras want a little more
trying
attention.
To steal the show, yeah.
Can't call it ref ball, maybe ref puck.
Ref puck, yeah. As we hit our final media timeout of the night. Taking a look ahead at UNLV's schedule in the upcoming weeks. UNLV packs their bags and heads to Chicago for the Chicago Classic. They won the Chicago Classic in 2021. And then they went back last year and didn't perform the best. They lost a pair of games, won once. That's next weekend.
And you know, like last season, they played #1 Minot State. This season, #1 Jamestown is on the docket for the Chicago Classic for UNLV. That will be a huge matchup. We'll see them again later in the season, too.
Jamestown has always been a fun team to play against. Just seeing their development in the last 3 or 4 seasons is remarkable. Jamestown first came to City National Arena to play UNLV in January of 2022. They won 1 game last season in December. As a shot from Delaney looking for his 2nd of the night. Gets swallowed up by Foreman. And now Jamestown, as you mentioned, is the #1 team in the country. Still some stalwarts in the top 5, Ohio, Liberty, Adrian, Minot State, UNLV. But Jamestown cementing their spot up atop the ACHA really shows their progress.
Yeah, it's their first time in program history to be #1 and to be up there 3 or 4 weeks in a row now. Really impressive. And I think from what I recall last season, their fan base.
As we got a goal from Utah. And this game is all tied up. Gonna see who's gonna be leading the handshake line. As the Utes are all fired up, that's Jules Donovan tying the game with 8:18 to go.
Well, that's the answer Utah needed. Tie a game now, and it's really anyone's game because UNLV has looked somewhat sloppy. I mean, they had some problems with clearing the puck on their zone, just like Utah had a few moments ago, but Utah able to take advantage of the extra zone time, capitalize with a goal. Now UNLV needs an answer.
Now here's Preston Brodziak shooting one off the side of the cage, and no one really knew where it was. And then if Cole Music looks down at his feet, it was right in between his wickets. But play's blown dead. Faceoff's going to come out to the right. of Garrett Fuller.
Yeah, interesting that no one saw the puck, so they just assumed it was not in play and then just gave up on it, and then ref decided to blow the whistle.
A quick whistle. Sometimes they happen. Other times they happen at unopportune times. Matias Del Monte gets chased out of the zone. And Devin Nagra catches an edge. Del Monte dives and makes a huge play. What an effort from the captain. Bailing out his D partner, Devin Nagra, who looks like his legs got all tied up in the neutral zone and gave up an odd man rush.
If UNLV comes out to win this game, that's going to be the play we're going to look back on. They had a 2-on-1. Del Monte making the play to stifle it and end it early before they could get the pass off. And perchance the go-ahead goal for Utah.
And the Utes are all up on their bench once again, active, yelling, talking to each other. They're energized in the final 7 minutes of this third period. Bradley Gallant engaged with Ethan Noonan. The both of them got tied up last night. Here's Noonan. Off the wall, turns it over to Gallant. Gallant moving on in, shooting one into the chest of Garrett Fuller. And there's a chance for Gallant, who lit it up last season. But Fuller, good positioning, allows them to make the save.
Gallant, I believe, second on the team in points, and a great opportunity to get the answer there. Would have been the fifth goal scorer of the night for UNLV, and a very costly turnover by Noonan, I believe, in their own zone.
Now here's Ethan Light, that top line back out for the Utes. It's an offsides is call. Face-off is going to be out in the UNLV end of the ice, on the UNLV half of the ice, I should say. It looks like it's going to come back to center, excuse me. 6:41 to go. Jules Donovan breaking through for the Utes and tying this game up at 4 apiece just a few moments ago. Now Heath Mensch chips that one in. Fuller stops that one up. Sethopoulos stops 2 clearing attempts, but it gets chopped out of the zone, settled down by Lorela. Now Quinn down low, swings it for Ford. Sent down the length of the ice, no icing. That puck trickles through Ethan Light. 6:03 to go, icing on the Utes. That puck is going to come back into the Utah defensive zone. Utah bench staying active. Preston Brodziak digging in against Brady Schwab. Brodziak wins the draw. Back to Del Monte, who shoots one, knocked down in front by Schwab, it looks like. Another blocked shot for the Utes. Played down low by Del Monte. Brodziak hounding his man. That was Lorela, who sent it down the length of the ice off the glass. And some fresh legs come on for the Utes. Now here's Brodziak through center, leaves it for Carollo on the right wing. Carollo shoots one, blocked in front, feeds it on net! And we have some more pushing and shoving. Preston Brodziak making a bunch of friends tonight, driving to the net. And he skates away.
I think that would have been an opportunity for UNLV had the goal stayed on, but it's tough to tell.
Would have been a really good opportunity for the Rebels. And the faceoff is going to come out of the zone on the right wing boards. Bradley Gallant wins it clean. Puck is sent in off the blocker of Fuller. Siegel knifes it in for Gallant. The puck gets chopped out of the zone. On net for Foreman. Some fresh legs come on for the Utes as we creep into the final 5 here in the third period. Tristan Rand tries to feed it rink wide to Gallant. It skips off of a stick in the glass into the corner. Gallant's there, wrestling with Delaney. Tristan Rand escapes pressure, sends it up for Jackson Wyatt, steps in, shoots one, whistles it just wide, almost went low glove on Fuller. Dylan Kuntz skates it into the corner, pulls up the goal line, looks from the half wall, sends it up top, Jackson Wyatt. Wyatt looking, return pass Kuntz. Kuntz now looking, shoots one, tips wide. Siegel gets on that loose puck. Siegel on his backhand sends it up for Wyatt. Jackson Wyatt floats it softly. Siegel settles the puck down almost, dances through traffic. Siegel backhand try off the pad of Fuller. Now up top, here's Kuntz looking. One-time try from Wyatt into the glove of Garrett Fuller. What a save by the Utes netminder.
What a save indeed, Dom, and what a possession for UNLV. That was probably one of their best offensive possessions of the night, getting lots of good looks on net, and Garrett Fuller making the save, flashing the leather.
Garrett Fuller's been remarkable all weekend long, 35 saves tonight. Facing an onslaught of shots from the Skating Rebels. And we still have about 4 minutes to go. Heath Mensch puts one on net, another save for Fuller. That puck floats softly off the glass, takes an odd bounce for William Schneider. Schneider already has a goal this weekend. It was his first of the season last night that tied the game at 1. A few bodies hit the deck in the corner. The puck skips free to the slot, and Dylan Ford's going to go for a skate with it. Ford plays it into the corner. Sathopoulos gets canceled out by Senden. Heath mentioned a puck battle. Mason Kelly settles it down. Leaves it for Mensch, soccers it to his own stick. Rink wide feed for Stathopoulos. It rolls off the heel out of a yawning cage on the back door. Tipped on by Kelly. Kick save by Fuller. A pair of good chances for the Rebels. As there's another icing on the Utes, and AJ just a couple of inches difference on both of those chances. We could be looking at a 5-4 hockey game.
Yeah, it feels like one's coming in the building for sure. The possessions that UNLV has had on offense so far, some really good deflections in front of the net too. It feels like they're clicking right now when it's exactly when they need to be.
The puck gets sent off the glass, gloved down, and whistled off sides. We have a coming together at the Utes bench. It's Nagra talking to plenty of Utes players, Jules Donovan, Ethan Noonan as well. William Schneider looked like he got tied up with the freshman D-man. That little scuffle gets broken up fast. Faceoff's won by Brodziak, who advanced it up ice, but sent right back up. Knifed on, picked up at the blue line. Lagenbrunner shoots one into the glove of Foreman, who holds on for a whistle. 3:10 to go in the third.
That'll be the first look we get in the Utah zone in quite some time.
The Utes are going to set up shop here. Shots are 39-30 in favor of UNLV. Fresh D pairing coming out. This Jake Lorela and Matthew Delaney, the top D pair. So the starting line out there for the Utes. That's Ernest, Lagenbrunner, and Light, is joined by Lorela and Delaney in the back end. Morgan Feeney sending his heavy hitters out late. Here's Ethan Light, gets pickpocketed by Hayden Siegel. Light was looking for a call. No such whistle will come to him. And here's Tristan Rand, who's going to skate it through the neutral zone. Rand rifles it around the wall. Hayden Siegel crashes into the board right in front of us to keep the zone. Rand down low, centering pass. One-time drive from Kuntz, whistles it wide. Gallant couldn't corral it. Centering for Kuntz, over to Rand, who pumps, shoots one off the side of the cage. Great chance for Gallant if he had a stick on it. Langenberg gets pickpocketed by Jackson Wyatt off the kick play. Gallant at the point. Point to point for Kuntz. Kuntz looking. Over to Wyatt with a drive through traffic. Rebound chance. Loose puck, and Fuller finds it. Man, oh man, that end wall, AJ, tonight seems like it's a trampoline for pucks coming off of it. They get right back in front of the net in the slot for UNLV sticks to find it, but they haven't been able to get on it.
So many chances for Bradley Gallant. There were 2 there. The puck was right on his skates, and he just couldn't find it. And then the slot had a chance to get a shot on net there too, but couldn't corral it.
The shot, they score! Heath Mensch off the draw, maybe tipped by Justice Stathopoulos. Heath Mensch is leading the line. What a way to get your second of the season. Heath Mensch pulls ahead for UNLV, 5-4 with 2:09 to go.
I believe that's the 5th goal scorer of the night for UNLV. Beating them in different ways, 5 different ways. They found the back of the net tonight from 5 different UNLV skaters, and I felt it coming. All this period, UNLV was buzzing on offense, cycling the puck well, getting good looks, and it finally came off the face-off.
Good things happen when you're persistent is a typical life lesson, and a good thing happened for UNLV with their persistence in the offensive zone. Heath Mensch, the Las Vegas native, breaking through, but here comes the Utes the other way. That was John Correa trying to get one back door, no one home, and that gets floated out of the zone. Arm raised on the linesman, icing on the Rebels. 1:44 to go.
Could be looking at the goalie getting pulled here soon. Garrett Fuller, depending on how this face-off goes for Utah.
And that's something that, if you tuned into this morning's broadcast or last night's broadcast, myself and Ryan Gilder talked a lot about AJ, is when Fuller would be pulled. He wasn't pulled last night. Fuller is still in the blue paint with 1:44 to go in this offensive zone draw, not even creeping out to the hash marks. And with good reason now, here comes Preston Brodziak through center. Tries to send it in, it gets blocked by a shin pad. Here's Michael Utes, the captain. Fuller stays in net. Utes driving the net, drop pass to the slot. Brodziak corrals it, skates it right in front of the net. Keeps possession there. Under 90 seconds to go. Fuller remains in the cage. It gets sent down the length of the ice. Caleb Strong's in a foot race. Can't knife it on, but stops a clearing attempt just out of the reach of Brodziak. That gets picked up by Slater. Final 70 seconds now. Slater hounded by Joey Carollo. He leaves that one for Matthew Delaney. Carollo still in on the forecheck. Delaney outskates him, gets pickpocketed by Carollo. Strong picks it up on the backhand. Brodziak knifes it through. Carollo can't knife it into the zone. Slater with a strong effort on the stick, under a minute to go now. Caleb Strong overskates the puck. Gets bumped by Oliver Kraft. Dalmonte flips it. Gets gloved down by Jones. Carollo at the red line, sends it into the zone. Fuller stops it, 40 to go. That was music for Kraft. Now here come the Utes gaining the zone.
Fuller.
Shot. Fuller gets to the bench with under 30 seconds to go. Extra attacker on. That's Langenbrunner for the Utes, and there's a puck race. Bradley Gallant wins the race, overskates the puck, feeds it on over the crossbar. Hayden Siegel is on it, plays it back for Dalmonte. Final 15. Dalmonte airmails it, he scores. No goal is the call. And Matias Dalmonte is looking for an explanation. Maybe it was because Bradley Gallant's still in the zone. I didn't catch it. Offsides indeed. So Bradley Gallant was caught in behind the play, I believe. So that goal from Dalmonte from deep in three-point land won't count. So now with 12 ticks to go, this changes the complexion of the game. That could technically be an icing. Timeout is called for the Utes. And now this is an interesting change of a dynamic in this game. Now, everyone in this building went from thinking this game was over to a second later. All of a sudden, you're looking at an offensive zone draw, possibly. We still don't know where the faceoff's going to be placed here. But if it's in the offensive zone, we could be looking at a tie game as well.
Yeah, and the decision, I think they probably keep Fuller out with just 12 seconds left in the game. And they'll have the extra attacker. Probably one last good chance for Utah to tie this one up, send it into overtime. But what a rush of emotions, roller coaster of emotions for UNLV there. Thought they had the game sealed with that goal, but Gallant not able to get back on side before across the net. And that's something I wasn't aware of. I thought, in an empty net situation, I know it's offsides, but if the offsides player doesn't touch it, it's still an off.
I was under the impression of that as well, just because, it wasn't touched up, but it does make sense as the linesman is pointing to the offensive zone. So the faceoff's going to be coming out. It should be to the right of Jeremy Foreman, and it is. Offensive zone draw for the Utes. Garrett Fuller stays out. Trevor Senegal is out there. Matthew Delaney, Ethan Light, Landon Lagenbrunner, Jake Lorela, and Michael Ernest. We're back underway in the final 10 seconds. Lorela at the point, sends it down low, fed it to the slot. Up top, Delaney shoots one, whistles it wide. Final few seconds taken off here at City National Arena. And the horn sounds. That'll do it. And we have a bit of a mess in the corner. And we got some players exchanging blows, and we have a lot of punching going on in the corner. Dylan Kuntz sends a man to the ice. And lots of jawing. Dylan Ford in the mix. And everyone's watching on as everyone's starting to be separated, and UNLV comes off the bench. Jackson Wyatt with the broom gesture. Some fireworks to end that one. Two top 10 teams going to war, AJ, this weekend.
Yeah, well, I kind of expected that at the end. The physicality had been there all game, and they were kind of restraining themselves going at each other that much. So, of course, they would wait till the final whistle to let all the emotions out and really have a go at each other. But what a finish. What a game for tonight. UNLV coming out on top 5-4. Thought it was 6-4. Back and forth. Utah had so many chances to come away with this one. UNLV looked sloppy in the second period, really responded well from the power play. And Matias Del Monte got him back in the lead, and then Heath Mensch finishes the job in the third period. 5 different goal scorers for UNLV. Really impressive stuff.
What a night. What a weekend for UNLV, showing their resolve. Hats off also to Utah, showing their resolve in this weekend's games, and especially tonight. Just what an effort from the Utes, showing why they're a top 10 team in the country this season. As the UNLV players salute the crowd, they're going to be away from home for about 2 weeks, as you mentioned earlier, AJ. Next up, the Chicago Classic, November 21st, Delaware Blue Hens, November 22nd, the University of Jamestown on November 23rd, the University of Michigan at Dearborn out in Chicago. Then they have the week off for Thanksgiving the following week while F1 is going on while they're in Chicago, just like last year. And then December 6th and 7th, they welcome GCU to begin a 4-game homestand to end out the fall semester. Arizona State comes to town that following weekend.
And I think that GCU series will be interesting because they've been a much improved team since from the past 2 seasons. We know last year UNLV was taken to overtime, I believe, by GCU in their first game of the season. And then now this year, they played some competitive games in Alaska, and they're a top 25 team right now, so could be an interesting matchup.
Lots of WCHL teams revamped and reloaded. These 2 teams won't go to battle again until they're up in Salt Lake on January 31st and February 1st. What a weekend between 2 top 10 ACHA teams in the country. We're finally going to let you all go. Once again, final score from City National Arena tonight, 5-4 in favor of the Skatin' Rebels. On behalf of myself, Dominic DeVois, AJ Reed, Kyle Sparrow, Jack Bridges, Rolando Guerrero, Gene Gomez, Kyle Kinsey, Zoe Salas, and everyone here at the UNLV Skatin' Rebels broadcast. We thank you for tuning in. We wish you a safe break from us. We'll see you back here on December 6th when GCU comes to town. Take care.